Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going over Kethis combo. This is a deck that I've made a lot of content on in the past, and luckily I think that the deck is now actually pretty solid again in Historic. Honestly, one of my favorite parts about getting to play Historic again is just playing this deck again, because it's really one of my favorite decks of all time, and the reason I started my Patreon in the first place, which eventually led to me restarting my YouTube channel. So really, I just love this deck. And before we get into the deck tech, make sure to check out my Patreon link description. Also join my Discord. I'm also offering coaching for the upcoming Historic Qualifier weekend. If you're interested in playing any of the decks that I've gone over on this channel or any that I do in the future, then I'm happy to help you learn the deck and take your play with it to the next level. And if you enjoy the video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, etc. I just got accepted to the YouTube Partner Program, and at 1,000 subs, I'll get access to more means of monetization, so make sure to subscribe if you enjoy this content so I can keep making it. So let's get into the deck tech. Basically, this deck is built around, no surprise, the namesake, Kethis, the Hidden Hand. 3 mana 3/4 that discounts your legendaries, but the real kicker on this card, the reason to play it, is the second line of text. Exile 2 legendary cards from a graveyard until end of turn. Each legendary card in your graveyard gains. You may play this card from a graveyard. So it's like this Yawgmoth will Underworld Breach type card for your legendary spells. You exile 2 legends, and you get to recast the rest of them from your yard. And the way we break this is that we generate mana with Mox Amber. Mox Amber is +1 mana since it's free and taps for mana. And then we mill ourselves with cards like Amulet or the Lock, which is going to be 1 mana and mills for 4, or Jace the Protected Mind, which is 3 mana and mills for 15, or 2 mana and mills for 9. And between these two, alongside maybe Rona and stuff like that, we can generate loops that are mana positive. So let's say you have 2 Mox Ambers and 2 Emrys. So each Kethis iteration, you can legend rule the other one back to the graveyard. You play Emry, you play Mox Amber. Mox Amber pays for the Emry, so you're exiling 2 legendary cards from your graveyard to mill 4 cards. And that is going to be slightly net positive. This deck has, 7, 8, 9, 13, 17, 21, 25, 26, 27, 28, 32 legends. So technically slightly positive, but things start to get out of control once you hit a 3rd Mox Amber and you can start generating mana, or you can get up to enough mana to start casting Jace, because Jace costs 3 mana but mills for 15, so that's 1 mana per 5 cards rather than 1 mana for 4, so that'll actually start going positive with nothing else. And then once you deck yourself, you'll have access to a bunch of mana because you found all your Mox Ambers, and you can right cast the Kinnan from your yard, and then you can deck your opponent with Jace. Some lists run Lab Jace, the Jace Wizard of Mysteries, which lets you win even if you've decked yourself and can't deck the opponent, because you can just draw a card and win the game with it once you play the Jace. But I found that to be more of a training wheel. So mainly the win condition is just milling your opponent with Jace. Now, other than that, most of the cards in the deck are just supporting the combo. We've got 4 Delighted Halfling for some early game mana generation, really helps speed you up against decks like Energy, and the encounter build's really good against control. We've got 4 Malevolent Rumble, which is a new card from MTG. Really, really strong card. 2 mana mill 4, which is something this deck wants, and you get to grab a permanent, so it can help you dig for your Kethis or your Mox Amber or whatever piece you're missing, and it comes with a spawn. So, unfortunately, the spawn doesn't tap for color with mana, but it's still like kind of Lotus Petal token kind of thing, which can help kickstart the combo. We've got 4 Rona, which is a really powerful card. Can help you get more cards to the graveyard by looting if it doesn't have Summoning Sickness, and it also has really good synergy with Relic of Legends, I'll get to in a second. But it's also just a great card, helping you dig for your combo pieces and fill the graveyard. We've got a 1 of Kinnan, as I mentioned before. Mainly, the use case is just making sure your Mox Ambers have for more mana so you can deck your opponent once you've comboed. But it's also just a pretty solid card. Making Mox Ambers have for more mana is good, and you can sometimes use the activated ability to dig for cards. Kethis does happen to be a non-human, so that's pretty nice. And we've got 2 Agatha Soul Cauldrons. This card is pretty strong. There are randomly a bunch of graveyard decks in the meta right now, between the Shifting Woodland decks and now the new combo deck with Victimize, that decks itself. And so Soul Cauldron is randomly good there as just a hate card. But also the main thing you do with this card is that you exile Kethis from your graveyard, put a counter on a creature, and then you have the Kethis going. And this deck has a number of creatures between Emry, Rowan, and Malevolent Rumble, Blood Halfling. And so this is just another way to get a Kethis going. That also makes it more difficult for your opponent to remove Kethis, because every single one of your creatures becomes a Kethis once you've got an Agatha Soul Cauldron in play. You need to put counters on them. And also, Cauldron is really nice because you get to recast it with Emery, and there's actually an infinite combo. If you put Emery's ability onto a Rona, and you have 2 Mox Ambers in the graveyard, you can use Rona to cast the Mox Amber, which will untap the Rona, and this will generate you infinite mana. Won't do much else other than that, but infinite mana is still pretty useful in a lot of cases. But that's something more niche that's just nice to know occasionally it comes up. I've got 3 Relic Legends. This card is probably my favorite card in the deck, to be honest, just because it's like playing the game on easy mode when you have Relic Legends in play. With the Relic going, it's so much easier to combo. With just a Kethis, a Relic, and 2 Emerys, you can, each Kethis activation, you can cast an Emery off the other Emery to mill 4, so you don't even need a Mox Saber to go infinite. And with a Rona going, all of your spells are going to untap Rona, which can then be tapped for mana. So stuff like Emery will be mana positive, because Emery can pay for itself and untaps the Rona. And it's just so easy to go crazy with Relic. It leads to a lot of the turn 3 and turn 4 kills with this deck, because it just speeds it up so much. It means that you don't need to find 2 Mox Ambers to start generating mana. It's just such a fun card to play with. As I mentioned before, Jace is mostly in the deck to just mill yourself with Kethis, just a big self-mill spell, but can also generate some value over time with the -2, draw you some cards. You know, you often do get to 20 or more cards in your graveyard and grind your games, so rank 3 is something that does come up, and then sometimes you can stymie some aggression with the ticket, but mostly you're choosing the -2 if you're playing without a Kethis, and the -X if you're playing it with a Kethis. And then running out the deck, we got a pair of One Rings. One of the reasons I'm excited to play this deck again is because of the Bowmaster's nerf, which is effectively a ban because no one plays it anymore. One Ring is now playable in this deck. It is, of course, nerfed. You need to pay 1 mana to activate it, but One Ring is such a perfect card for this deck because giving yourself protection is really strong, and it's legendary, and you can recast it with Emery, so if you have 2 of them, you can just kind of play one each turn to get the protection, which is really strong, and drawing cards is pretty nice. So often you'll be like, well, I'm dead on board against Boros Energy, but I'll just slam One Ring, draw a card, untap, draw 2 more cards, and then be in a pretty good spot to win the game. Now, if the whole Emery thing with the protection was like a little bit more important, then I'd be running more. But usually like just a single turn with the One Ring will be enough to win the game, and it can be a little clunky as a 4-drop. There's not really much room to run more of them, which is why I'm only on 2. But I could definitely see metagames where running more is reasonable. It's such a strong card. I could see like a build trying to run 4 and just time lock its opponent over and over. And the mana base is pretty. I mean, I would honestly, the mana base is not standard at all. Actually, building the mana base of Kethis is like the hardest part of building the deck. It's definitely the part I spent the most time on. So we got the 7 channel lands. These are really important both because they just give you more spells in your deck, and also because they are legendary, so they help you increase the legendary count for Kethis, which makes things like coming off with 2 Emery, 2 Mox Amber a lot easier. So Otorock can bounce something. Takenuma is particularly important because it can mill you and get a Kethis back, and Beseiju is really good at answering hate cards post-board, especially. But it can also just like kill a Static Prison or really like a Shifting Woodland. Killing a Shifting Woodland as it's a land before it becomes an omniscience is super strong. And then other than that, basically the deck needs a lot of natural green sources and natural black sources. So Plasma Hero is like a 5-color land for this deck, but it doesn't tap for Delayed Halfling or Malevolent Rumble or the black sideboard cards. So we need to have, with the rest of our lands, enough black and green sources. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 black sources, which is a little bit less than optimal for the sideboard cards, but playable. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 green cards for 4 Delayed Halfling and 4 Malevolent Rumble, which is actually enough. So the mana, the numbers do work out on that, but the reason they work out is because I'm not running any of another pretty powerful land, Great Hall of the Citadel, which basically lets you turn your Scion into colored mana, which is really nice, and double fixes your mana. So it's a really powerful card, but there's just no room for it, unfortunately, in the deck as it is, because you need to be able to cast both Malevolent Rumble and the black sideboard cards, Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, Culling Ritual. So unfortunately, we cannot run Great Hall, which is a big concession. But yeah, other than that, blue and white mana is pretty easy because we have 4 Plaza, 4 Mana Confluence. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more blue sources. and then Delighted Halfling and Relic of Legends, and then white sources we also have plenty of. So most of the issue is just getting enough green and black mana. So yeah, that's pretty much the deck. Now, before we move on to the sideboard, I do want to note a couple different builds I've seen in the deck. So first of all, I've seen a lot of people running Flage, and you make that work with Great Hall, but then it makes the black sideboard cards a lot less effective because you can't run enough black sources while also having enough green sources for Halfling and Malevolent Rumble. So for that reason, you just need to like warp the deck around it and make so many mana-based concessions and like run less of the channel lands as well. I don't really like Flage. It's such a powerful card. But I mostly like it into matchups like Wizards because it's not that good into Boros Energy because they just go wide anyway, and it's not that good into Control because the damage doesn't matter that much. It's like fine in both those matchups, but it's really, really good against his Wizards, and that deck is no longer really seeing play, so I don't think there's so much reason to be running Flage currently, and there's just so many ways to build a deck, like with Cauldrons, with less Relic of Legends, with like all kinds of different stuff, you know, for playing Flage builds, you can play Lazav, so many different ways to build this, so many different cards you can include, but I think Malevolent Rumble is basically a mainstay, and this is how I like to see the rest of that constructed. Unfortunately, I wish I could fit in some Chromatic Spheres, but it's less relevant because we already have more artifacts for Emery, and there's just no room, especially since it's non-legendary. But Chromatic Sphere is one of the cards I really missed from the deck. Yeah, so on to the sideboard. So we've got one Fatal Push, just to slow down aggro a bit. Two Surgicals. There's been an uptick in Graveyard Hate or Graveyard decks, and so this is some nice Graveyard Hate that's free, which is really good because some of these decks try to combo really early in the game. I could see maybe running a Tormod's Crypt because of the synergy with Emery, but Surgical is just overall a better card. And we've got three Thoughtseize, just proactive disruption against control decks, stuff like that. Now we've got a Haywire Might and a Lorna on the third path to answer artifacts and enchantments, usually sideboard hate. Haywire Might is nice because it works with Emery, but then Lauren is a legend, so they both have their own upsides. We've got three Culling Rituals, which is probably the most important card you can play against Boros Energy. It just dunks on them and gives you a ton of mana for you to, like, I don't know, jam a One Ring or a Kethis and go off. So really, really important card, especially since it also answers all of their hate cards and all of their static prisons, stuff like that. So you can often just like use this to both wipe their board and unlock your ability to combo. And this takes the slot of Urza's Ruinous Blast, which does like the same thing as Culling Ritual, but for more mana and more requirements, which is why we're running Culling Ritual, because the only matchup you really want it in is where it's effectively the same as Urza's Ruinous Blast, because, you know, Boros Energy being a lower stack doesn't really run expensive permanents. And even the non-Lurs versions, the Giganta versions that run Fable, is not such a big deal. And we've got three Minskin Boos as an alternative threat against control. Between like the Lighted Halfling and Malevolent Rumble, it's pretty easy to get up to 5 mana. Also Relic Legends, but that card is a little worse in those matchups. We can get up to 5 mana, just jam this and go to town. It's a great way to fight through Graveyard Hate or if an opponent stumbles, and you know, control decks can sometimes have an issue answering a Minskin Boo post board. If you can jam it through a Delighted Halfling, it is a little weak to discharge specifically, but still the best option that I've found. You could maybe run like a one of Scarab God or something instead of the third one, because the third one is maybe a little sketchy, but I've liked the full three, and this deck has plenty of red sources between Plaza and Mana Confluence and Delighted Halfling and Relic of Legends, so I haven't found that aspect to be an issue. So yeah, that's the deck. Let's get into the games. Alright, starting off here against another Mythic player, which is nice, and this hand has a lot of mana, but not much else. You go Delighted Halfling, get to Kinnan, Mox Amber, running Giganta hand. Honestly, this is just like us casting a turn 3 Giganta, so I think it's fine. We have plenty of gas to draw into. And having a double Mox Amber makes it pretty easy to combo with Kethis if we find some self-mill. I don't know, I just think because of Giganta, this hand is somewhat reasonable. Alright, Mountain and killing the Delighted Halfling. That's not such a big deal since we already have plenty of mana generation. If the cannon dies and turns out these Mox Ambers, that'll be kind of problematic, but I'm just not going to play the Mox Ambers. I don't feel like Legend ruling a Mox Amber to put Giganta in hand, because if the cannon dies, then we're not getting Giganta down anyway. Yeah. Alright, what is this, like mono red? Why are they not playing white lands for their white cards? I see, I'll just bring Giganta to hand. Unfortunately, no black mana to channel this Takenuma with, but seems like we have time and our opponent's not doing much. It's weird because like this could be Jeskai Control or Boros Energy, but why would they be playing basic mountains? So yeah, as I say, that is confirmed that I'm actually playing just against straight like some sort of mono-red aggro deck, which is interesting. One Ring is nice here. We're gonna get to draw some cards. Thing is, after we cast One Ring, it buys us one turn, but we're probably gonna die the following turn, so we need to hit off the activations ideally. And for that reason, it's actually maybe a possibility that I don't want to play the One Ring next turn, since I want to fog on the turn that will kill me. Because if I fog on a turn where they're not going to kill me, they can build up to kill me on the next turn anyway, regardless of the fog. But Six Shot Show Off is just a threatening card, so I might just need to fog next turn anyway. Let's see what they've got, though. I'm just going to auto pass. You're holding priority for no reason. I mean, I'm kind of interested. If they just deal me one, then I might just jam the Giganta, because Giganta gives us so much mana to work with. But if they hit me like 10 here, then Monstrous Rage. Yeah, I think we might need the, well, let's see what else they do here. Are they thinking about killing the spawn? They should have done that. Yeah. Oh. So here's the thing, right? I could just play Giganta. And then what would it take to kill me? If they have 3 play with fires, then I would take 5, 5, 5, 2. Because, or 4, 4, 4, 2, right? Because each so that would kill me, but they don't have a land drop, and if they had to play with fire, I think they would have cast it. So I think I'm safe to just go for the Giganta. Obviously, there's things I could die to, but I'm basically 0% to die if they miss their land drop, and it would require them to have a land drop and 3 1-mana spells, or a burn spell on my end step here, but they should have. I would be surprised if they did that. Yeah, it's a galvanic discharge, and that's fine. I really don't care about that, but I just figured it wasn't something that could go face because they would have cast it. And so yeah, this turn we'll take our beach, then next turn we'll jam One Ring, and then hopefully we don't take too much damage this turn where they can't just like kill us in our upkeep after the One Ring protection wears off with the burn spell. But just doesn't seem that likely that they will be able to be honest. Oh. Was not expecting that. Luckily, they didn't hit their 3rd land drop, or I think we might just be dead to that. Or might have been dead to that. That's interesting to keep in mind. We'll, ooh, I could just play Rona. Is it worth also getting down Rona? I think so. I think I'll sack the Scion instead of burning through another Mox Amber as well. Getting down Rona now, so she's not summoning sick, is has a pretty significant upside for the combo turn specifically. So the odds of Rona surviving that turn are probably not that great. But yeah, next turn I'm just gonna jam a Kethis with after red cards with One Ring, and we've got Rona, and we can have enough mana to protect with Plaza of Heroes. So I think we have a solid chance of winning, but we've missed on an Emery or Jace. Emery or Jace would just win us the game. That's what we're looking for. That kind of self-melt. Oh my god. Main deck Pithing Needle? Why are they running a main deck Pithing Needle? Well, hopefully they name One Ring, I suppose. Luckily, I don't have any energy, so they can't Galvanic Discharge a Kethis. But main deck Pithing Needle? Are you serious? That's kind of crazy. Luckily we do have 2 Besajus to kill it, and we could find a second One Ring. We could even find like a Agatha Soul Cauldron to give Rona the One Ring ability if we find a if we mill over the second One Ring and memory somehow. So we have outs. We could also find Jason take up on Slick Shot, but that doesn't seem very likely to work. Huh. We also have Otawara that can bounce the Pitino. Well, I mean, they're kind of in the tank here, but you need that Pitino? I would. Well, that is wrong. That is super duper wrong. What? That was not what I was expecting. Alright. Hits me. Yeah, I mean, hits me to 3 and then 2. But I'm not dead. Ooh, Malevolent Rumble is nice. Yeah, I mean, this is probably game. Mill 4. Well, that's like second One Ring, but I'm not in love with that. Let me go for a Mox and a Malevolent Rumble. I had the option here for like Otawaring Emery back. Oh, there we go. That should just be game. Let's grab a Jace. Oh, they might burn us out on our upkeep. No, it's fine. We can just cast another One Ring. Yeah, it's actually not an issue. And then the difference between 2 and 1 life is negligible here. So we'll just do this. And gotta first mill ourselves since we need to make enough mana with Mox Hammers. We can also play a One Ring at the end of this. So that should be pretty easy. Our opponent's not gonna scoop because they're gonna hope that we forget to play the One Ring. But I'm going to remember, unfortunately for them. And so yeah, now we can generate 2 mana each time. And oh wait, I have a Cannon in the graveyard. I should not exile that. I should cast it. Should have just cast it. I wasted a mana here, but it's fine. I didn't realize I'd milled it over. But yeah, now we're just gonna play a Mox Amber, and from here I could just start milling my opponent. They've got probably more than 45. Yeah, 48 cards, so we need 4 Jaces. It's fine. Cauldron. Maybe I'll just like sneak down an Emery here, just get a couple more cards in the yard. Yeah, at this point the combo is deterministic. I just want to do it in the fastest way possible because I don't want to bore you and I don't want to just waste time needlessly, but just gotta make sure not to screw something up, and I should be just fine. The 18 cards. There we go, opponent cuts it up. Yeah. I was just gonna play 2 Mox Ambers, play a Jace, play 2 more Mox Ambers, play a Jace, play 2 more Mox Ambers, play a One Ring. We had plenty of cards for that. So yeah. Manic Pithino. So we're bringing in Calling Rituals, Haywire Might, and Lauren, and Fatal Push. I also clicked on something else, I think, by accident. Didn't I? No? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna. I think we're gonna board out the Cauldrons. Just seems too slow, and they can kill a creature in response. Board out a Relic. I think we board out the One Rings. Again, just too slow, really. Oh, let's take a look at their deck. Oh, I don't know the Great Revel, huh? Wait, what? I mean, I didn't just see a Dreadmaw's Ire. Oh, damage can't be prevented? Yeah, definitely One Ring is bad here. Because damage prevention is around protection. Eidolon's gonna be annoying, but we have Fatal Pushes and stuff. This is supposed to be a difficult matchup. Aggro is generally a bad matchup for like the slower combo deck. But let's see what we can do. I think I might just want to go down like, I don't know, Relic is so busted though. Maybe it's like a cannon? Actually, I maybe want like one ring just so I can have protection if I combo off. Like kill me on upkeep? Is that? Well, no, because I can. Interesting, because I could use Cauldron to give something Emery's ability and cast Harem, but it would be summoning sick. I mean, I think this is probably just fine, and then I'll just maybe I'll cut like a Jace. I don't like that. Sometimes I trim down on like a Jace or an Emery. I think it's reasonable to do. I guess more aggressive decks. Does make the combo a little bit worse, but kind of at cost you just have to accept. I can't keep this for sure. Sure. We have turn 2 either Rona or Malevolent Rumble into a Culling Ritual, so that's pretty solid. Malevolent Rumble can help us get the combo going, hopefully. Get some cards in the yard, find a combo piece. You know, I'll lead on the Plaza, I suppose. And then I'll probably just... It's interesting. Eidolon, huh? I mean, I don't want to play out the Passager because of Eidolon, I suppose. Maybe I'll just go for Tucking. Well, I can't. No, I need to play the Rumble. Yeah, I think I have to Rumble so I can Culling Ritual next turn before I take too much damage. They might kill the spawn, which would be entirely reasonable. You'll just take a Might. I don't really need more lands here. Now they'll be... Unfortunately, Haywire Might doesn't actually answer Eidolon. They'll be aware of Culling Ritual now because I've milled it over, but maybe they'll think that I don't have one in hand because I've already milled one, so the odds are smaller. Roiling Vortex. Roiling Vortex is really good against me because of Mox Ember, I suppose. But we do have the Haywire Might, and it's going to get hit by the Culling Ritual, so I don't actually care. And yeah, I'll take my beats here. I'm not jumping because I need the Scion, and I was worried that they were going to kill it to deny me mana, but it seems like they did not, which I am a big fan of. Yeah, I don't want to take damage off the mana conflicts, even though the Technique might be relevant. So I'm just going to do this, and don't even take damage off the Eidolon, which is nice. And then I'm just going to play a Relic, and then probably just a Haywire Might. The thing about Haywire Might is like, yeah, sure, maybe they play a second Roiling Vortex and I get punished, but also like, what are they going to do? Kill it and I gain 3 life? I mean, alternatively, I could just have brought Rona to, or Jigata to hand, but I wouldn't be able to cast her next turn anyway. Jigata, I suppose, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what our opponent has as their follow-up. Would not be surprised if they kill a Haywire Might and got down some other hate piece, but yeah, this, wow, Pithing Needle, Roiling Vortex, they're really touching our anti-hate cards thin here, huh? I'll just get down a Rona and bring Gigant to the hand. I'm not even gonna attack because of haste creatures. And their life total just... Actually, no, I will attack for one. Given that I have a Giganta, life total might actually matter. Kills the Rona. Sure. Yeah, Rona is like part of the reason why I wanted to attack, because flipping Rona and attacking for 5 kind of real. Like, we just go Giganta, attack them for a couple, into Rona, flip, attack them for like 12. Yeah, this should be fine. I think the one lifer is worth getting on the delayed halfling. They just scoop it up. Must have just not had much going on in their hand. And like couldn't outrace the Giganta. Well, we'll take it. That is supposedly a hard matchup, but didn't look like it. All right, match number 2. I had to cut one on the middle there because I paired into the same opponent immediately afterwards. Like 2 matches in a row, mono row, which was not fun. And now we're playing against Smoke, which I do know to be a fairly good player. And we're taking a mulligan here for sure. And here again, probably on Boros Energy. Yeah, no, Smoke is a good player. I talked with him somewhere. We're in a Discord server together. Oh my god, a playable hand. No way. So I think I probably just want to keep Cauldron seems bad here. I'll just keep this and try to get that an early ring maybe. Roman's a lot worse when you just have like no cards. But we'll see what we can do. Luckily, I actually don't mind seeing the halfling die. Well, I kind of do because I'm on a multiply, but at least I'm not getting off to that fast of a start. Oh, that's nice. I mean, I could just try to like jam Kethis on 3 and pray if I find a land. Just hope my opponent doesn't have a way to answer it. I mean, Jace isn't... Oh, missing a land here is so bad. Yeah. So we need 2 turns here to be able to actually do something. Relic is kind of nice because it makes winning once I get Kethis done pretty easy. Like, if I just draw a land and go Relic into Kethis into Jace on turn 4, then I can actually just win. But the odds that I survive Interesting to see no attack with a Johnny. I don't know why that might be. I'm hoping to not see a bombardment. Because that's a Johnny flipped and my Rona dead. And that's going to be able to ping down my Kethis. So I think I'm just dead. Because I can... Here's the thing, right? I can just... If I draw a land, I can play Relic. And then I untap and play Kethis and just can't do anything. Yeah, that's gonna be a game. I mean... Look, multi-5. Like, if we had been able to play the Relic that turn, we would have been able to win with Kethis the following turn, but... It wasn't meant to be. So we're gonna bring in our removal. Artifact Disruption is good here because it hits Bombardment, Static Prison, Pithing Needle, Flash Graveyard Hate if they have it. I generally trim like one of each of these and the cannon and the cauldrons. And maybe I'll go down like a Rona. I like Rumble in this matchup a fair bit. Actually, maybe I should just go to Relic instead of a Rona. I don't know. Sideboarding with Kethis is weird. You don't want to board out combo, but you also have other cards you don't have to board out. You don't want to board out. Alright, let's see. Oh, this is pretty good. I mean, it's a little awkward that I have a bunch of, like, cheap plays into Kong Ritual. Oh, multi 5. Don't mind seeing that. Your turn now. Huh. Anyway, like, this Kong Ritual is, like, not the best here, but I think I might just go, like, halfling into, like, bring Giganta to hand to try to set up a ritual. Oh, see, like, something like that I actually love to see, because I'll be able to kill the Static Prison and get my Delighted Halfling back after the Wrath. One of the reasons why Calling Ritual is so bust is it just hits all the other permanents as well. And it's going to be taxing their energy for now, which I don't mind. Probably a Raptor or something, or a Johnny. Yeah, there's a Raptor. What's this? Oh, Galvanic Discharge? Sure. That's fine. Oh, Jace. Jace thing. I don't want to play Jace. Okay, I'm going to play Jace and just tick up on the Raptor. I hope that it doesn't get hit by a Static Prison, because if it doesn't, then I can use Mox Hammer to get up to 4 mana for Calling Ritual. Which I would need a land drop for otherwise. And then I might just go Calling Ritual this turn. I might not, depending on what my opponent is. Like, if they just bring Laris to hand, then I'm not going to. A Johnny. Well, it's pretty likely that I do now, given that they played in Johnny. Lauren, sure. Yeah, I think what I want to do... I mean, I'll draw with Jace first, I suppose, because if I don't have to get down the Mox before, I won't. Yeah, I think I'll make my land drop anyway, so I'd rather just do it this way. And I get a bunch of mana. So then I'm just going to play Mox Amber into Rona and bring Giganta to hand. And now things are looking pretty good, because I have this Jace to accrue me value. I have Giganta as just a big creature. I can even go like Giganta to Rona. They Galvanic discharging the... Goops it up. Yeah, Dees. I mean, mulligans help, but really that was just Calling Ritual going crazy. Really just on the same card in the matchup. I think we run it back. I don't really want to change much on the draw, to be honest. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Never mind, I don't have to sneeze. But yeah, on the draw is gonna make things a lot trickier. See, would like another Calling Ritual. That's the way up in the matchup. This hand's fine. I mean, if they do the thing again where they Static Prison the Haywire Might, then I can just... Or Static Prison the Delighted Halfling, I just Haywire Might it. Yeah, that's a lot of Mox Ambers into an Esper Sentinel, but whatever. Galvanic Discharge? Yeah. Yeah, that's fine though. I could just play Haywire Might and walk with it as well. It's not unreasonable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play the Haywire Might and then just play a Mox Hammer and pay the 1. I'll probably just hardcast a Kethis next turn, to be honest. I don't really care if they kill the Haywire Might. Um, like it's not like I need to hold up mana to sack it. So I would rather just get the Mox Hammer down while I can pay for it. I would like to not have to play out this Takenuma, but if I don't hit my land drop, then I will. Lurrus to hand. I do like seeing Lurrus to hand. Okay, given that they just went Lurrus to hand, I'm just going to play Kethis. Because it seems fairly likely that they have a slower hand. Maybe they have like another Galvanic Discharge or something, and that's fine. It just slows them down a lot. With the second Kethis, sure, Static Prison. With the second Kethis, I don't mind losing the first one, and if it lived, I was just going to win. That being said, oh, there's a Culling Ritual. What do I want to do? I could just play. I mean, I can play Jace. They draw a card off Esper Sentinel. I could tick up on the Lurrus, but they probably have another removal spell. Like if they're just doing nothing, and they played the Canyon there, which implies that they don't have more lands in hand, because otherwise that's painful. I mean, they could have more Canyon, I suppose, or better advantage. But I think I just want to draw with the Jace and try to hit my land drop. Because if I can get to this Culling Ritual, then that's just going to be huge for me because I get the Kethis back and I can possibly win right away. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Yeah, and I'll just pass. Infinite energies. Static Prison isn't going away on its own anytime soon. And even if they did, they'd be able to recast Static Prison with the Lurrus. Sacking Sunbaked Canyon. All right. I mean, there is also the argument that like they had multiple Sunbaked, or they want to get Sunbaked Canyon so they could sack it, and then if they drew another thing, they could play it. So I wasn't all too confident in my assessment that they were screwed on land. Oh, I do not like that play from them at all. I don't see why they would. Yeah, weird. Also, not sure about. I mean, I guess it's fine if they have more ways to make energy. Oh, land is nice. Wait, let me think about this. So I go Culling Ritual. Yeah, I think I won't. Well, if they have a Galvanic Discharge. No, it's fine if they have a Galvanic Discharge. Because I have another Kethis. So yeah, I'll do this. I can't even pay actually because that's 3 power, so it's kind of moot. So make some black and some green. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. And then I'll play the Mox. Activate Kethis. Exile Jace Kethis. And then play Jace. I only have 1 blue mana. And yeah, that should be game. Oh, let me tap this for blue. All right, scoops it up. Yeah, we were deterministic there. Jason 2 Mox Ambers is gonna get there. All right, so we took down a very high mythic player. These. All right, starting off here, another mulligan. Wow, our hands have not been nice to us, but we can't keep a one-lander. If one of these cards was a halfling and I could go halfling into a rumble, I would be fine with it. But as it says, it is good. I mean, if it hits a land, it can go cannon into rumble and to just win. But one-lander is just too risky. Yeah, all right, fine. Game 1 with Hades isn't as important, so I'm just going to bottom it. Sanctum into Plaza and probably channel this Takenuma if I keep floating. Let's play halfling on turn 1 and see what we can find off this rumble. That's really gonna set the tone for this game. Oh, mono green. Well, hopefully mono green without Karns. If they have Karns, things are gonna get tricky. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I probably just want the relic, right? Can't go for a second Rommel here, unfortunately. So basically, the reason I took the Relic is as soon as we find a Kethis, we can now just win. Which I think is worth it. It's mono green, so we're gonna have to go fast. It's bad into a Karn, but so is the rest of our deck, so I don't think we can try to play around that really. There we go. There's the sneeze. Let's see what they've got. I mean, some lists have stopped running Karn to run Trailblazer to be able to storm more. Yeah, Trailblazer is really good. Interesting to not see the plot. Means they probably have one drop. Yep. But I would honestly not discount the fact that they have Karn. They probably do. It's just such a busted card. I'll go for the Rumble, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know why I'm tapping Halfling. It doesn't actually. Well, I guess I'll take the Odawara. Wow, that's unfortunate. Odawara is nice as like a way to answer a Karn. Like I can out Odawara the Karn and Besage with the Needle if I ever want to go off. Odawara is like the only way to answer a Karn that doesn't involve attacking it in this deck, at least in game 1. But the reason Karn is such a big issue is it just shuts off all the artifacts. So we can't generate mana with Mox Amber or Relic of Legends, so we can't actually full combo. We can only like cast as many Jaces as we have mana, which is a lot worse. They've got a lot of mana, but presumably not like a ton going on. I think neither do we though. Channel Takanuma, I suppose. Wow, this is not really going according to plan. I'll grab a Jace since it draws cards, or I could just get down a Rona and try to start looting, but I don't even have any things to loot with. I think Jace is probably the play. And Jace is only drawing us one card anyway. They can attack for 5, 6, 10, 11. Yeah, I think my best bet is just going Jace. They shouldn't be able to kill me through combat if I do this. And this gives me some looks. Unfortunately, we're not quite at 20 cards, so we don't get the 3 cards. But we're gonna be dead in 2 turns to attacks anyway, unless we like don't sack the Well, if they kill the Jace, then they're not killing us in combat. The thing is, like, you just don't want to give them too much time, because at any point they could just storm off. And honestly, we might just be dead here to them doing that. They have a ton of mana between Fnatic and Nykthos. They have 1, 2, 4, 6. So, a lot. Okay, don't mill a storm, don't mill a storm, don't mill a storm. Please. They should tap the Nykthos now in case they hit a Nykthos. Yep. They know what they're doing. No storm? No storm. Nice. Alright, so we just need them to whiff the 2 Trailblazers. But any 4-powered creature does keep the chain going, unfortunately. We could just be dead here. That's the reason for haste, I think. Oh, it looks like they missed, though. That's nice. Like, even though this puts us, like, deader in combat, they should kill the Jace. Why let me mill 3? Yeah. This puts me dead in combat faster, but that's not actually really what matters. You really should kill the Jace. Like, I'm gonna be dead to combat next turn anyway. So why let me mill 3? If I have like a second Jace, then that would let me get to 20 cards. Or almost. Like, that'd be +4, so it'd be pretty easy for me to get to 20 cards. Well, yeah, they figured it out, it seems. Well, they're figuring it out. This isn't the most complicated combat ever. I don't know what they're so confused about. There we go. They got there. And, oh, Cauldron is game. No? Wait, oh no. Damn. I don't have a Kethis in the graveyard. Well, we are not dead yet, because what we can do is Cauldron, grab a Rona, and come on. Pretty sure we're dead now, right? We can't actually... We don't have any way of untapping it. Giving it Emery wouldn't... Yep. Alright. Unfortunate, couldn't find a Kethis in the top 26. Alright, so, what do we want? On the play, Hayman might seems pretty good because it can answer Utopia Sprawl. Fatal Push seems necessary. Probably Thoughtseize. One Ring seems like it's way too slow, and they can probably win through it if they have Karn especially. I'm not sure if they do. And I can cut like some Cauldrons, just seems too slow. And maybe like a Halfling, since we're boarding in more 1-drops. And we're boarding in non-legends, so we want to board out some non-legends. Let's see what they've see what our opening hand has in store for us actually. So we go turn 3 Kethis, turn 4 Rumble. You know, on the play, I'm kind of tempted to keep it. It really sucks. These pauses don't have a green for the halving or Rumble. We don't have a number of green sources. I don't want to keep this. It's kind of greedy. Oh, that's not good. That's got to be the worst draw in our deck. Third Kethis is not what we're looking for. Yep, and they're not up to the world's fastest start, but this isn't exactly a snail's pace either. It's possible I should have just gone. Well, no. I think Kethis is still more mana efficient because I could go Rumble, but not Rumble plus Halfling still. Ideally, I could Rumble here and then just win. Like, if I hit like an Emery and mill over a Jace and a Mox and go from there. Or like maybe hit a Relic. But, even if that isn't the case, well, I have 5 mana here. We're probably going to win next turn, aren't they? Kiora untapped 6 mana. They could Storm here? Wait, this is disgusting. Turn 3, by the way. Oh, they get to keep going? Have they made a land drop yet? Oh, if they have a Nykthos here, we might just be dead. Yeah, untapped Fnatic. So back up to 4 mana, because I haven't made a land drop. Please no. Okay. No Nykthos, but we have to assume that we're dead next turn, so this Malevolent Rumble is going to need to be very good. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're super dead next turn, so it does look like they aren't running Karn, I would assume, since it doesn't like really look like they would have room for it. Yeah, I think I'm rumbling here always. I guess I'll take the Emery. Well, we need to find a Mox. Oh, I probably should have played the Takenuma. Because I'm not gonna have blue mana. But if I hit a Mox, it's the same. Let's see. Well, yeah. Good game is right. I don't think I'm going to be able to survive this turn. Cavalier. I mean, once it becomes a little bit more clear that I'm dead, I'll just scoop. Oh, they do have Karn. There's a second Storm, yeah. Well, I'll scoop when they hit a Nykthos. It is still possible for them to run out of mana if they don't find a Nykthos. This has got to find it, though. Yeah. Okay. Adios. Well, fair enough. Mono Green can just have these starts. But you know, it's just not a great matchup. We didn't even get to see the Karn do anything, but it's just a slightly faster combo deck generally, and we can't beat Karn. But they did kill us on turn 3 twice, which is like above rate. Let's see what our hand has in store for us. Nothing exciting, but we could still keep this. Any legend lets us get down an early ring. Yeah. And no Giganta or Luris means it's probably going to be a slower deck, which, like, I would not keep this into a Luris, but I think this is probably going to be like a control deck. Or something. Oh, Horona's a great draw. Horona's excellent. We're going to get to do some looting. Go Jace on 3, running on 4. And that should buy us plenty of... Ooh. You know... I don't even know that we need this ring. I'll still keep it for now, but... And yeah, I guess I might as well loot now, because it's gonna get untapped. Jace... I mean, I could just draw with Jace. Or I could just tick up. Yeah, I think I was supposed to tick up, because I don't see how they would answer Jace here. And I would rather mill 18 next turn than 15 this turn. I just need to hit a second Mox and I win. So drawing doesn't actually seem like it does much. And if we whiff, then we could just play this one ring. Is this like Narona? Probably, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna discard the second Mox because I don't actually need it, but we should just win. Yeah, I mean, they could have Metallic Rebuke. Am I supposed to play around Metallic Rebuke? Probably. Yeah, I will. So I'll play the One Ring, they counter it. I play Delighted Halfling to play around future counter spells. And I could tick up on the Ornithopter. So then if they kill the Halfling, they can hit it back down to 6, but if they don't, it's up to 7. No. Actually, I have what I need to win, so I'll just... Well, I don't want to take down draw, then it goes to 2, and then I might not have enough cards to mill. I think I'll just lock in the 18 cards now. I don't think it's worth risking it now that I have the 2 Mox Sabers and I have what I need. I just need enough cards in the graveyard to kickstart it. So this also means that, like... Yeah, this is nice because now I can activate Kethis, and they kill it in response. I can play a second Kethis in the yard. So that works too. So yeah, let's go... Oh, no. Let me make white so I can keep the 2 clauses untapped. I said so I can keep the 2 clauses untapped. Cauldron makes things even easier. Well, somewhat easier. I'm not actually sure if it has that much of an effect. But, oh, actually a Cauldron in the yard even. I don't need the Rona, I suppose. This means that I have multiple ways to get at Kethis if they kill it, but they do not. So that'll be game 1. And in this matchup, Culling Ritual is obviously insane, so it's game 1 of my Lore and Fatal Push. I mean, I don't know about Fatal Push, actually. It does slow them down, but I don't want to overboard. Cauldron seems kind of bad into Portable Hole. I'll cut, how good is Relic? I mean, I don't love it into Metallic Rebuke. I think I want to cut back on 3 drops. Go down like an Emery. And maybe... They board in non-legends, so maybe I'll just go down a Haywire Might, or a Delighted Halfling, rather. Halfling is, like, pretty good in these matchups, but, you don't want to board in too many non-legends and not board out enough. Which is the main consideration there. Let's see what we can cook up here with our hand. Alright, this works. Actually, this is excellent, because we get to go... You get to rumble a bunch and dirtle around, and then go into a Calling Ritual. Worried about Metallic Rebuke, but... Oh, that's nice. You know what? I'll play the Takenuma. It seems unlikely that I'll want to channel Takenuma, and then I'll play the Beseiju probably because I have this Calling Ritual. Just to avoid taking a bunch of damage. Well, now I definitely will because I have the second one. To avoid taking damage off Mana Confluence. I mean, hitting my land drop sounds appealing. I already have Emery, so I'm not sure about needing Jace. I already have... Yeah, no, I will take the Darksick this time. Soul Guide doesn't actually matter. I mean, the fact that they just spammed out a bunch of permanents here... Interesting. That must mean that they're missing gas, probably. They seem to have enough land. So they did play Adakar Waste, so maybe they're mana screwed, but I guess I don't think they're mana screwed because their deck doesn't actually need that many lands. This makes sense given Emery, because they can replay the Soul Guide Lantern, and they have a second one. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So our graveyard is getting ravaged, but not much we can do about that. And so kind of want to play the Relic. I don't want to cast the second Malevolent Rumble into a into the Soul Guide. If I play Relic, it can help us fight through a whatchamacallit in the future. The improvised counterspell, Metallic Rebuke. Disruption Protocol is a little worrying to me, because that's a counterspell that we can't get around, and they're gonna get this Retrofitter going. Yeah. So let's think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So right now we can't even pay for the Culling Ritual. I think I want to just like play Emery. I don't want to cast the Rumble, but I will cast Emery because it doesn't get hit by the Culling Ritual and it taps for mana. So I think we're just gonna grab Giganta, play a tap land and pass. And I mean they're probably just gonna keep sacking this. Sure, they exile VR, that's fine. What do we actually mill over? So we're down 1 Kethis, 1 Jace, 1 Ring. The thing we most don't want to mill over is a Moxhammer though, because that's like the thing that having 4 of them matters. Yeah, I mean, so I think what we're gonna do is cast Culling Ritual. If it gets countered, instead we kill the Soul Guide, they attack it in response, whatever, and we untap and try to go off, because well, we're gonna Rumble, we're gonna have the Emery, if we can find a Kethis. Oh, they have to exile their Engraver, funny. We're not under like the too much pressure, but it is starting to add up. Yeah, so let's see. Land. We'll see if the Culling Ritual resolves. Yeah, Disruption Protocol. Unfortunate, but what are you gonna do? And yeah, I think now I'll just pass the turn and letting them have more time. The game will just slip out of reach. That's the thing. If they play, I think they should play a second Soul Guide to get around the Boseiju. But then I'll just Otawara with one of them and then Boseiju the other, so it doesn't matter that much. But it still seems like it's the safer play. I don't know if they're really thinking about me having an end-step Boseiju. But this is what I'm going to do. Giving them more time just seems so bad because it gives them more time to draw counterspells, and I'm under a lot of pressure here. Like I'm just taking a bunch of damage. I'm not like gonna instantly die, but I have maybe like 2 more turns. All right, let's see if this Rumble can find us what we need. No, the answer is it cannot. That's fine. We can try to do this again next turn with the Otawara, or like do the same thing over again with Otawara. But the issue is now we don't have self mill, so we'll be relying on Otawara. And they path us. We don't have a basic, I don't think. Unlucky. I mean, I will still just Otawara. I don't even think playing Giganta matters because it doesn't actually really change the clock, especially with this Thopterist. So here comes the Soul Guide. Gonna hit the I mean, it should hit the Legend in my yard, right? It should just exile the stage, but then I'm more scared of Culling Ritual, which is fine. And we're just gonna Otawara and hope to hit something. I guess I'll chump. Actually, no, you know what? We have more time than I thought, actually. I'm not really pressuring. Yeah, I think I have 2 turns, so I won't Otawara yet. Ooh, Kethis. Okay. So I'll play Giganta and pass. I'm not sure if I'm gonna Otawara the Soul Guide on their end step because I goes my graveyard. Sure, there wasn't really much there anyway. If I find another way to kill the Soul Guide Lantern, then I can Otawara my Emery to mill. And I'm not actually gonna die this turn. They've done a worse job pressuring me than I anticipated, but maybe that's something that was just out of their control. Well, we're super dead next turn now with the side, with all the things being 3-1s. I guess I could bounce the Thopterist to buy a turn maybe, but that does not seem... I don't know, I mean, we might have to. Actually, no, it definitely won't work. Because we're taking, what, 5 here? Yeah, no. So we need to win this turn. I'm not going to bounce the Soul Guide end step in case we draw some other way to answer the Soul Guide. Oh. Well, that's probably just game. They don't have something. They're tapped out. Huh. Did we really end up winning this? Did not expect that. Did not expect that after we whiffed on the Rumble. That's for sure. I guess we can tap Giganta. And I mean, yeah, I'll mill myself. They really should have just gotten a second Soul Guide into play. The fact that they never did that was kind of a massive punt because it meant that they could never play around me having an answer to it and then trying to go off. Like, I get the first time they might have not, like, thought about it or whatever, but after the second time, it was just them getting complacent, I think. Unless I have a Surgical. But even Surgical wouldn't actually get me too hard because I could exile whatever they Surgicaled with Kethis so that they wouldn't exile everything else. Get the cannon down to make our Moxes have more. And they could just scoop now. They're dead. Deterministically. Unless they have some way to prevent themselves from getting decked, in which case they might still be dead. I just have so much mana. In fact, I probably should have recast the Mox Hammer with Emery, but that's whatever. Actually, none of my actions like even close to matter here, so I don't even need to play this like nearly perfectly. I could just take actions. Yeah, I want to mill myself with Emery because I'd rather mill them with Jace. I should probably tap the Rona since it untaps. When Rona, important note, when Rona is summoning sick, you will not get, when Rona isn't summoning sick, rather, it's probably easier to say it that way. When Rona isn't summoning sick, you'll get the window to tap her in response to the trigger going on the stack, but when Rona is summoning sick, Moto doesn't, or Arena doesn't recognize the fact that you can actually do something with her, so you won't get the, I had another Jace, whatever, it's fine, I only need 2 Jaces to kill him. Arena won't recognize the fact that you can actually activate the ability and it's relevant, so you won't get like the priority. So for example, if Rona was untapped, that wouldn't have gotten priority, whereas if Rona wasn't summoning sick, so basically you get the leeway to forget when Rona isn't summoning sick, but you don't when she is. Yeah, I don't see any way to prevent decking, so I think we should be good here. I think I probably shouldn't have exiled the One Ring, because if they had some way to like prevent decking, then I could use it to time lock without having to find the second one. But I really don't think it matters. Interesting deck. Some slightly questionable cards like Dovin, of course, but that's fine. Still, put in like a decent showing, like they did things, and then just didn't matter because they didn't play the second Soul Guide. Alright, well, we're moving up in Mythic, and that'll do it for the game, so let's just do a quick outro for you guys. Yeah, I think Kethis is really strong right now. Not as strong as it's ever been historic, because it's been like tier 0 before, and I don't think it's anywhere near tier 0 status right now, you know. It's still, the issue is Energy is a bad matchup. We didn't face it, so I couldn't show you, but Jeskai Energy and other control decks tend to be bad matchups for Kethis because they have counter spells, and when you get Kethis gets countered, a lot of the rest of the deck doesn't do much, and then postboard gets really hard because they have like Divine Purge and Farewell and Wrath of the Skies and all these like answers, and Graveyard Hate makes things even more tricky. It's hard to explain exactly why Control is a bad matchup, but it just ends up playing out that way where you can't combo fast because of a single counterspell, and you can't combo slow because they'll just grind you out, and sometimes they have like stuff like Divine Purge, which really punish you for going wide. So it's not unlosable, like uncounterable One Ring, uncounterable Minsc and Boo. Sometimes you can just combo them out fast and they don't have the answer, but it's not great. And then Energy can also be tricky. Like we took it down in that match, but that was mostly just because we found our culling rituals. But when you don't find your rituals, it can be tricky. I think that match is probably like the matchup is probably like even at best. I wouldn't call it a good one. But it's still just a very powerful deck, and I like it a lot. So I wanted to showcase it, even though I probably won't play it for the qualifier unless there's some like big breakthrough that I find. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments and join my Discord. Subscribe to my Patreon to support me and get access to my writing. I'm also got coaching on there if you want to get some help preparing for the historical qualifier yourself. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.